Swamin Namaste Natalokabandho Karunya Sindho Patitam Bhavabdho Mamuddharatmiya Kataksha Drishtya Rijvyati Karunya Sudhabhivrishya Swamin Namaste Swamin Namaste Swamin Namaste Swamin Namaste Yat Kirtanam Yat Smaranam Yadikshanam Yadvandanam Yadshravanam Yadarhanam Lokasya Sadyo Vidhunoti Kalmasham Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namaha Vichakshanaya Charanopasadanat Sangam Vyudasyo Bhayato Antaratmanaha Vindantihi Brahmagatim Gataklamaha Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namaha Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namaha Tasmai Subhadrashravase Namo Namaha Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So, we start the 3-day session. The topic given is Devotional Pursuit for Householders. I think this topic and the topic for that one-day lecture in Hindi is more or less same. Sukh, Shanti or Parivarik Jivan. It was more or less same. But here it is particularly based on the devotional pursuit. What should be a pursuit for the householders? And again, when I look at the topic, I feel that a pursuit is necessary, that is understood. That is why such kind of a topic has been given. And why we need a pursuit, why the mind thinks that we need something, some discipline, some routine, the mind thinks like that. And just before coming, I was waiting for somebody to escort me here, and I was thinking and remembering that I, as a householder, at one time, I had so much yearning that what is that pursuit which will increase my devotion? I think devotion all of us have, but we do not know what is that devotion, what we have to do with that devotion, how we can grow into that devotion. So as a young girl, I also felt that I am devoted to God. I would talk to God. I was very much given to not going to so much to temples, but as a Bengali, Durga Puja, and in the house, Lakshmi Puja, or going to Shiva temple. All those were very, very delightful to me. Then I had a great blessing of coming across Baba Gangadhar Paramahamsa and getting initiated by him. I was very young. And when I got initiated, I understood that this life is not to be led ordinarily. Like, generally we grow up with this feeling that we will study, then we will maybe get a job, one will get married, and one will have a family, and we'll try to earn more, have more of comforts and luxury, bring up the children, and grow in age, and then man dies. I felt that it's a great blessing that I have come across a Mahatma like Baba, who actually never told many things, but his presence itself, or the association, the little association that we had so much effect that I felt the life should revolve around spirituality and devotion. I had no idea what was that, what I have to do. But there was a lingering yearning in the mind that when I would spend time unnecessarily, maybe talking, or maybe doing nothing, maybe in a lazy manner, or maybe in a very fruitful manner, I would feel that, is this taking me to my goal? What was the goal? I did not know, but I felt the goal was to have joy and peace. I think initially everybody has that joy. Self-realization and other things comes much later. Everybody on earth, whether one is young, old, rich, poor, everybody wants to be joyous and happy. So, as the days passed, I started feeling that, what is this? The joy goes away. Joy is not permanent. Today's joy doesn't even live for next day. So what is that? And having had everything, the mind would still have a vacuum. Mind will still feel that, oh, this is over and something else has to be had. So what is that? And the everyday, agitations of the mind, various modifications of the mind, sometimes feeling happy, sometimes unhappy, sometimes having a little fear, doubt, etc., etc. So there was a feeling in the mind, how I can grow in bhakti, because I found that when I used to sit down with my mantra, chanting it, meditating it, or in front of the puja shrine, my mind would become peaceful. So naturally, I used to think that, is there any discipline, a routine, taking to which my mind will become peaceful and happy? So that was, today I was thinking about it and how it grew. I think if I look back, I think many of you must be having this kind of feelings. I am just talking about myself because I am at the speaker's table. So how it grew, it is something very, very nice to know. And later, when I had the little knowledge to analyze the life that was led, how the yearning for bhakti grew, and how everything in life just fell in place, and the bhakti grew further. It became more and more pure. Why I am saying pure? Because mostly our bhakti is not pure. Bhakti becomes pure when we do not want anything from God. We just love because we have to love Him. We feel His own, and He is our own. That is the pure bhakti. But mostly we will ask from God, either for health or wealth or prosperity or name. Always we are asking. And I found that mostly the mind is not peaceful and happy because there are desires in the mind. And those desires and expectations, lack of acceptance of situations. Because of desires, when something comes in front, we are not able to accept it. We take time to accept. we cannot reconcile. So lack of acceptance of situation, lack of dispassion. When can we accept situation? When we become dispassionate. Okay, whatever has happened, leave it, let's go forward. That kind of dispassion. Then lack of samatva, not becoming too much elated, not becoming too much depressed. Whatever comes, take it in an equal manner. And at the end, lack of reliance on God or providence. That whatever happens in one's life, there is a providential factor. We must rely. We must have faith. For any seeker or a devotee, this is a quality that we must have faith. Faith on what? Faith on God, faith on Guru, faith on the Shastras. All these are faiths. So, as a young seeker or a devotee who wanted to grow in devotion, I started reading books. Swamiji asked me to read Bhagavatam, and I started reading the Bhagavad Gita. Beautiful shlokas I encountered. सकलभ मध्ये निर्धनास्तेऽपि धन्याः निवसति हृदयेषां श्रीहरेर्भक्तिरेका हरिरपि निजलोकं सर्वथातो विहाय प्रविशति हृदि तेषां भक्तिसूत्रोपनद्धः सकलभुवनमध्ये निर्धनास्तेऽपि धन्याः सकलभुवनमध्ये निर्धनाः तेऽपि धन्याः. Sakalabhuvanamadhya, I think you can all understand. Very simple words. In the whole world, all the worlds, even if one doesn't have wealth, they also are blessed. Who are called blessed? Those who have a lot of wealth, name, fame, prosperity and everything. So people will say, though, he is a blessed person. But this shloka is saying, Sakala bhuvana madhye nirdhanaha tepi dhanyaha. Even if one does not have any dhan, wealth, prosperity, he too is blessed. So who is that person? Nivasati hridiyesham Shri Harer Bhakti Reka. Why they are the blessed ones? What treasure do they have that even though they do not have any wealth, they are being called dhanya? Because Nivasati hridiyesham Shri Harer Bhakti Reka. Those people, those who have Ananya Bhakti, Eka Bhakti for God, Shri Hari, they will be called the blessed people even though they do not have any wealth as such. There was horripilation in my body. Oh, it can be had. Harirapi nijalokam. Now Hari, what Shri Hari does for them? Harirapi nijalokam sarvathato vihaya. For such a person who keeps Shri Hari as the most treasurable object, even though he doesn't have any money, Hari also leaves his loka, leaves his abode, Vaikuntha. Harirapi nijalokam sarvathato vihaya. Completely he leaves his abode. Pravishati hriditesham bhakti sutropanadha. And Shri Hari also, because of his love for this devotee who has nothing but him, considers him to be the only wealth in his life, comes away from Vaikuntha, enters the heart of the devotee and gets bound there by what? Bhakti Sutra, the cord of love. Cord of love. So, when the mind wanted to become more and more devotional, understanding that my bhakti, I might be calling myself a bhakta. I was thinking that I was a bhakta. And I was finding that if I was a bhakta, if I am a bhakta, why is it that still I am gripped by irritation? Why is it still I am gripped by anger and fear or a little bit of criticism, finding fault with people, laziness, all those things, why I am gripped by that? Because I was reading Bhagavad Gita and I found that a bhakta's lakshanas are beautiful lakshanas. In 12th chapter, Sri Krishna lists out the qualities which a devotee must have. The devotees having those qualities, Sri Krishna says that they are my dear devotees. So, reading that, I used to think that if I am a devotee, then I must have these qualities. And I used to find that in many places, I am not up to the mark. And when I read this shloka, I felt, so that bhakti sutropanadhaha, I must bind God in my heart with a bhakti, which is pure bhakti, growing into which bhakti I will have all the qualities of a bhakta. Do you get me? Do you like this shloka? Very beautiful. So this was one of the earliest shlokas that I learned. I think Swamiji dictated it to me and then I learned it. Then there was this shloka. Bhagyodayena bahujanma samarjitena satsangameva labhate purusho yada vai ajnana hetu krita moha mahandhakara nasham vidhayahi tadodayate vivekaha bhagyodayena bahujanma samarjitena satsangameva labhate purusho yada vai ajnana hetu krita moha mahandhakara nasham vidhayahi tadodayate vivekaha. This was another one which delighted me a lot. Bhagyodayena bahujanma samarjitena. Only by the fact when somebody becomes fortunate enough, bahujanma samarjitena, by in many lives, when having passed through many lives, one becomes fortunate enough and gets satsanga, that is association with a Mahatma, a saintly person. Satsangameva labhate purusho yadavai. So when satsanga is had, then what will happen? Ajnana hetu krita moha mahandhakara. Because of ignorance. What is the ignorance? The ignorance is, we always think that I am the body. And this is me, and everything around me is mine. We get attached to them. All the things that we possess, we get attached, we are possessive. And because of that, we suffer a lot. So much of misery we suffer. We think that we will get happiness from outside object. Oh, a son is born. So much of happiness. Then you get attached to the son, attached to your house, attached to your property, and if something goes wrong, you are miserable. So this attachment, this feeling of bondage, all this brings about misery. Now, satsanga, when satsanga is had, this ajnana, that I am not the body, nothing belongs to me, this jnana comes, that nothing belongs to me. All the things which are around me, I consider mine, are perishable, will not be with me forever. This jnana, when we hear it, we think about it, maybe we have not experienced the jnana, but still the knowledge about it makes our mind have the discrimination. When something comes in front and we are in situations which we do not like, this jnana helps us. So, by satsanga, what happens? Because of this ajnana, what we suffer? We suffer with misery. And ajnana hetu krita moha, the moha we suffer, moha mahandhakara. And this moha, this attachment, this bondage, pushes us into deep darkness at times. We do not know what to decide. We do not know how to go beyond the problems which have come. See, we have come to Jamshedpur. Out of so many devotees, some are coming with us shedding tears. They are telling about their difficulties. Just simple, ordinary family difficulties. Not difficulties even in sadhana. Son is not all right, or the daughter is not all right, or health is not all right, or in a family there is no harmony. These are the difficulties. People are coming and shedding tears. So having had everything, and all these people, there is food to eat, there is clothes to wear, there is a shelter above the head, maybe cars are there, house is there, everything is there. Then why is this sorrow? Why is this fear? Because we get attached to everything that we have. We feel that we will be happy and we do not want to lose what we have. So, ajnana hetu krita moha mahandhakara. The mahandhakara, the deep and darkness that we are thrown into, what happens? Nasham. By satsanga, what happens? That darkness dissipates. Why? Because constantly you will be hearing from the saintly people about the life, that you are not the body. This body is not your own. Nothing is your own. Think about God. Love God. Know God to be the supreme. He is your own. He is your Ishvara. He is your Atma. He resides in yourself, in your heart. He is the surest refuge. He is your friend. So grow devotion to God so that your devotion to the world, devotion to what you feel as your own, but which is not, will reduce. You get it? So, satsanga. If you are getting a satsanga, you are fortunate. That is why it is said, bhagyodayena. When one's fortune rises, then only one gets satsanga. And what is the effect of the satsanga? Effect of satsanga is this ajnana dissipates and the sun arises. Sun of what? Sun of jnana. Nasham vidhayahi tadodayate vivekaha. Just like the sun, viveka buddhi, that is the buddhi which becomes pure, which starts understanding, which starts becoming a little dispossessive, non-attached to all the things you have, starts thinking that no, I will not be attached, then I'll get miserable. Slowly the buddhi starts becoming pure and purer by listening, hearing, reading oneself and all that. And not to speak of the direct association of a Mahatma. So I think all of us are blessed because all of us have had this satsanga, the direct association of a saintly person, and we should grow in devotion. So the thought of growing in devotion, when viveka arises, what happens? One starts understanding that, oh, I think I'm a devotee, I've been thinking all the time. But actually, my devotion is not pure. Just like Raja Parikshit, when he was cursed he said that this Brahmin boy's curse has come to me as a blessing. I used to think that I am a great devotee of Sri Krishna, but now I understand that I have been attached to my kingdom, my treasury, my all the wealth that I have, my princes, my queens, my palace. I was attached to that. That is why a non-devotee-like trait suddenly gripped me. What is non-devotee-like trait? Anger. He became angry. He became angry at Shamika Maharshi, who was meditating, and insulted him. I used to think that I am a devotee, but now I find that I have not been a full devotee, a true devotee. True devotee-like qualities are not there in me. So now that I have been cursed that on the seventh day I will be bitten by Takshaka and I will die, I consider it to be a blessing. So what is that? At that point, his Viveka rose, and he understood that though he has been cursed, it has has done him a great favor, because now his mind wanted to be dispassionate to all these attachments that he had and completely focus on the holy lotus feet of God in his heart. That is what happened. So this sloka is saying that when satsangam is had, this Viveka Buddhi rises. And when the Viveka Buddhi rises, we are understanding where we are wasting time, where we are giving time to God. When Viveka Buddhi arises, you will find every action of yours, every thought of yours, by thought, by word, by action, whatever we are doing, we will be able to understand whatever I am doing, whether it is for the growth of devotion or it is contrary. This will be very, very clear. Every movement of the mind will be absolutely clear to you. You cannot escape from yourself. You cannot think that, oh, it's okay. No. You will be able to understand what you are doing, whether your devotion is increasing or not. Otherwise, generally what people do, people will be constantly thinking, in Bhagavatam so much description is given as the normal householders. They will be active throughout the day. They will be only spending their time in earning money, looking after the family, which has to be done. But they will not do it in the manner in which the scriptures are telling. Also, the scriptures are saying you must look after if you are in a household, you must look after your family. But the scriptures are constantly saying, remain in the household just like a guest. Do not get attached. Never feel that your wife, your children, your house are your own. Always have a feeling that all this belongs to God. I am just an instrument and looking after everything. So we do half. When we look after our family, but we do not practice this non-attachment. And because we do not practice non-attachment, we suffer. So the people will be, see, there is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita which says, इदमद्य मया लब्धम इमं प्राप्स्य मनोरथम इदमस्तीदमपि मे भविष्यति पुनर्धनम. It says that today I have gained this, tomorrow I will gain something else. Because our whole life is full with what? Plans of the future. We want to plan. Tomorrow I will do this, day after I will do this. Already I have done all these things. I've got a lot of praise and, people have said that you are very great or whatever. So the mind will keep on thinking like this. I've got this much money and I'm planning so that my money will become double or triple and my bank balance will be much more. See how clearly Bhagavad Gita shloka is telling about our mind. So when we read, I will say again, when we read, we have to compare with ourselves, our own mind. It is just not a reading. Where do I stand? So, so Bhagavatam slokas, I was saying, I said 2 slokas. There is one more sloka, which, there are many slokas, but these are the initial ones which I learned, and today while waiting for the session to start, I was remembering those slokas. Dehe sthimam sarudhire abhimatim tyajatvam jaya sutadishu sada mamatam vimuncha pashyanisham jagadidam shanabhanganishtham vairagyaragarasiko bhavabhaktinishthah देहे स्थिमां सरुधिरे अभिमतिं त्यजत्वं जायासुतादिषु सदा ममतां विमुञ्च पश्यानिशं जगदिदं क्षणभङ्गनिष्ठं वैराग्यरागरसिको भवभक्तिनिष्ठः. It says, Dehe sthimam sarudhire abhimatim tyajatvam. Our body is made of what? This deha. There are bones, there is flesh, and there is blood. So, and all the relatives, or say wife, husband, son, parents, the bodies, the embodiments of people, these are only this. What is that? Flesh, bones and blood. So do not have any kind of attachment on the bodies that you are related with. Because in essence they are what? In essence they are only bone, flesh and blood. Suppose you come across a piece of bone while you are walking, you step on it, or some blood or some flesh, you have stepped on it. What will you do? You'll go and wash your feet. Do you like it? We do not like it. We do not want to hold it. But when it takes a form, we get so much attached to it. So our Shastras are saying that do not get attached to the bones, flesh and blood. Because in essence, any body is that. Abhimatim tyajatvam. You leave. Tyaja, tyag karo. Chhod do. Jaya sutadishu sada mamatam vimuncha. Jaya means wife, sutadishu means children, sutadi, children, and etc. etc. Your relatives, friends, neighbors, etc. to whomever you are attached. Mamatam vimuncha. Mamata क्या होता है? Means ये मैं हूँ और ये सब मेरे हैं. ये सब मेरे हैं तो इनको अच्छी तरह देखना है. All our love goes to our near and dear ones. So, the near and dear ones, whomever you consider your near and dear ones, leave your mamata for them. This is mine, this is mine, this is mine. Expand your vision. Consider others also your own. That is why this word has come, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. A sannyasi is supposed to embrace everybody. Whether a poor person comes to the ashram or a rich person comes to the ashram, we feed them equally. We do not throw them away. We will take them to the dining room and give the same amount of food. That is why Swamiji is so particular that on Vishnu Sahasranama Yajna we should not neglect the people who are coming from the slums. They should also be given food with the same kind of love and feelings as we are doing for our own person. So, Jaya sutadishu sada mamatam vimuncha. I am remembering one story. Shall I tell that? Maybe you have heard it also earlier. Many wandering people come to our ashram. Nowadays, with age becoming what it is now, we are not able to have faith on people. So we are not allowing wandering monks to stay in our ashram. Even now, many come. We give them food. They ask sometimes for dresses. So we give them dress. We keep some stock of dress also. Some will ask for an umbrella or a bag or a kambal. All those things we keep in stock. And Swamiji gives them some money for their next leg of journey. But we have stopped making them stay in our ashram. Earlier we used to allow, and mostly these wandering people would stay for 3 days because they walk. They become very tired. So they come and say, मुझे 2 दिन के लिए ठहरने दीजिए कि 3 दिन के लिए ठहरने दीजिए. And then they are not, we do not expect them to come and attend any of our routines, prayers or anything. You do whatever sadhana you do in your room and then take rest. Come in time for taking food, take food and go and take rest. So one day, long back, a young boy came. He was not a sannyasi, but a young boy in, I think, white dresses, but the dress was very tattered, torn and very dirty also. He had a small bag, bundle. So Swamiji was busy talking to somebody. So we gave that boy some tea and other snacks and told him that wait when Swamiji completes his conversation with this man, he will talk to you. So when Swamiji talked to this boy, it was found out that this boy is a Brahmin boy. And his father, I don't remember now for what reason, his father had said, he was from Maharashtra, his father said that without any money, you go around whole of India and come back. It's not so many years back, maybe 28 years back or so, but still at that time, that boy was obeying his father. He was walking without money, and he said that he had finished walking in North India and he has entered South India. So how do you find here? Swamiji said, a little interested how South India is behaving. So he said that in North India तो खाना मिल जाता था, यहाँ पे लोग बहुत क्वेश्चन करते हैं, अरे तुम छोटे बच्चे हो, तुम क्यों भीख मांगते हो, तुम कौन हो, etc. And Kerala, the bhasha was very different. So Swamiji was very happy. Swamiji said, beta, you stay here, and asked us to give him a room and told him you take food, take rest, and then you can walk ahead. So he talked to him for quite some time. The night after dinner also Swamiji spoke, and while Swamiji was speaking to him, Swamiji was showing his love to him so much, embracing him, patting him on the cheek, and he did as if Swamiji didn't, it was his own son who has come back from a Parjatan. So in the morning we saw the boy and he took breakfast. Again Swamiji embraced him and told him that, beta, you take rest, take good food. You are looking very tired and your dresses are very torn. I'll make dresses for you. Then when you recover from your health, then you can go ahead. So he must have nodded. Then we all went to our own work. At about 10 o'clock or so, Swamiji said, please told Nathan Swamiji, call that boy, I want to talk to him again. So this one guest house, which was an old guest house, which has got demolished now, it had a bell, calling bell from our old ashram. So we rang the bell, nobody appeared. So Nathan Swamiji went up, that boy was staying in first floor. Nathan Swamiji went there to find out the boy and call him. And he came back with a chit of paper. उसमें लिखा है, महाराज, आपने मुझे इतना प्यार दिया, अगर हम यहाँ पे थोड़ी देर और रह जाएंगे तो आगे मैं नहीं जा पाऊँगा, मैं यहीं पे बंध जाऊँगा. And he has gone. He never expected anything, never took any money. Swamiji was ready to give him money, dress, and of course if he stayed, he would have got good food and everything. Simply he has gone. Why I told this? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, I was saying. Because he got that kind of a love, which maybe he gets from his parents or even more. He felt that if I stay here, I will be bound by this love and I will not be able to go forward anymore. So, Jaya Sutadishu Sada Mamatam Vimuncha. Just think, suppose your son comes home at 12 o'clock at night, suddenly and unannounced from his place of work and has not eaten. You will get up and cook something and give some food. Suppose somebody else comes like that, he may do it, but with lot of grumbling. Do they not know that this is not the time to come to a house, and that too without food, making me work like this? So this is not, that is what? Jaya Sutadishu Sada Mamatam Vimuncha. So with that mamata, our mind becomes constricted. Only my own family and a little bit extended family, that's all. We are not able to sacrifice for others. Mamatam Vimuncha. Who is saying? These Shastras are saying. So as a householder, we must do this. We must see at every step, is my possessiveness reducing? Is my vision about others increasing? All that. Then, next line is, Pashyanisham jagadidam kshana bhanga nishtham. This jagat, this world, this is always changing. Every moment it has changed. That is why it is called samsara. Samsarati iti. That is, it is always moving. No two moments are equal. So it is changing. When we are in a good situation, as I was telling in my Hindi talks, one lady told me that everything is okay in my house now. In my mother's house, in my sasural, everything is okay, everybody is okay. Now my fear is, suppose something goes wrong and I will be suffering. I will have so much of suffering. So her question was, how the mind should be developed so that when anything goes wrong, the suffering will not be there. This is Viveka. So when you start pursuing devotion, growing devotion, or when you pursue jnana also, the same thing will happen. The Viveka will come. Then you will not be interested only in having the solution of the situation. You will be interested in growing to that stage of the mind and buddhi, where even if the situation is unfavorable, your mind will be stable-minded. So, Pashyanisham jagadidam kshanabhanga nishtham. This jagat is shanabhanga, shanabhangura. That is, it is always just breaking away, going away, not remaining stable. It is not nitya. It is perishable. So, on and off, think about that. Think about that. Everything is going well, but anything, anytime may happen. So what is the remedy? What we should do? We should take to a pursuit by which the mind will be strong, so that when all this nice atmosphere or situation is not there, I will not break down. I will still be able to be happy. I will still be able to go ahead in my life. Pashya anisham. Anisham is always, every moment. Pashyam is see. Jagad idam jagat, this word. Shanabhanga nishtham. Vairagya raga rasiko bhava bhakti nishthaha. How will you look at this? How will you look at the world which is not stable, which is transitory, which is not eternal. Vairagya raga rasiko. Develop vairagya. Vairagya to all that you are attached. Understand, tell your mind, no, I will not have this attachment because these things do not belong to me, first of all. I have been given these, everything that I am enjoying is given to me by God. Understand this. That feeling of I have done, I have acquired, I have possessed, I have so many things. Leave aside that I-ness and leave aside that mindness. All the things that I possess doesn't belong to me. And what will happen to these things? Only the providence or God knows. So I'll not have any kind of attachment. The life will simply flow on. And life is not eternal. It is transitory, momentary. Thinking that this is a development of Vairagya. Vairagya doesn't mean that you have to leave and go to a forest and sit there in meditation. It doesn't mean that. You have to leave your possessiveness, leave the desires, leave the attachments. That is Vairagya. And then, so all this you have done. But how will you still be motivated to think like this? Bhava bhakti nishtha. Bhava bhakti nishtha. Consider bhakti to be your wealth, your treasure. Grow in bhakti. All the while we are having our nishtha to what? To the world, to our possessions, to our people. We feel that we are very secure. Very secure. We have money, we have people, we have so many houses. Health is also okay. I've got enough money. If something happens, I can get treated in a very good hospital. I can also keep, if necessary, few people from the agencies to look after. All those things we will feel because we have money. But money will not stay. It may not happen. So, have Vairagya and grow in your bhakti. Bhava bhakti nishtha. Our nishtha is towards the world. Change it, change it. There comes the talk of pursuit. It will not change by itself. You have to practice. You have to first think that I must have a pursuit. I must have a pursuit by which I can gain these qualities. So that is why it is devotional pursuit. And in Bhagavatam especially, because it is a devotional text, so many places, there are so many instructions to householders. What pursuit you should follow. So, then the mind thinks that how can I be like this? How can I be like this? Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigatakalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigatakalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. This is from Bhagavad Gita. See, it says atyantam sukhamashnute. So we started with that we all need peace and happiness. To begin with, we need that. And this shloka is saying what? As I was saying, that I've been reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, not understanding much, but certain things will touch the heart. It would go into the heart. Atyantam sukhamashnute. Oh, that is possible. Since Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna, so it must be possible. Atyantam sukhamashnute. Atyantam sukha means supreme sukha. So one can achieve that supreme sukha. How? Yunjannevam sadatmanam. If we keep our mind focused on God. That is, whatever we are doing, through our thoughts, our words, our actions, we always associate with God and do these actions. And vigata kalmashaha, if we become vigata kalmashaha. What is vigata kalmasha? Kalmasha means what? Kalmasha means traits which are not pure, impurity. That is impurity of the mind. Vigata kalmashaha means you get rid of all those impurities. What are the impurities of mind? बोलिए, आप थोड़ा बोलिए. What do you consider as impurities of mind? All the traits which give us sorrow, misery, and sometimes we feel repentance. What are the traits? Anger, irritation, impatience, intolerance, not being able to love, judging, judgmental attitude, criticism. All these things are impure states, impure traits in our mind. And when we indulge in these traits, what happens? Our situation will be over, but we feel sorry ourselves. Why did I talk like this? Why did I become angry? Why need not have been judgmental? Maybe there is another story to this incident. So we are sorrowful, we become miserable. So vigata kalmashaha, that vigata kalmashaha is very, very important. Because of the impurities of the mind remains agitated always. I have been told this, or I wanted to do this, I could not do. I wanted to acquire this, I did not succeed. So many things, the desires that we have not being fulfilled, whenever it is not fulfilled, the mind becomes agitated. Even if desires are fulfilled and we get what we want, the mind is still agitated very soon because we feel, suppose I lose it. Suppose I lose it. Then the doubt and fear comes in that manner. So, the impurities of the mind, if we can remove those impurities, the mind will become quiet. Agitations will not be there. And in that quiet mind, we will be able to feel the growth of bhakti. We will be able to feel the presence of the Lord, presence of God in our heart. So it says, Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha. Unless you practice to remove your impure traits, undesirable traits, the traits you do not like yourself. You do not like to become lazy. You do not like to criticize others or find fault with others. You do not want to be angry and irritated. So the traits which are undesirable even by yourself, remove them and then focus your mind on God. Then what will happen? Sukhena, very easily, Brahma samsparsham, because the mind will become restful. You will be able to touch that core in the heart where is your antaratma, the indweller. Atyantam sukhamashnute. And there will be a joy which doesn't depend on anything. Supreme joy. What is the supreme joy? Now our joys are dependent on many factors. I want to buy a house. If I buy the house, I'll be very joyful. So your joy has been what? Object is the house, the car, marriage of the daughter, promotion in your office. Or maybe there is a case, you have won the case. So everything, every joy is dependent on an object. But when there is no object or a joy, or you have desired something and the object you have got, the joy is had, after that what will happen? The mind will again look for something to be joyous. Right? So, this sukha, atyantam sukham, is not like that. It is a joy which comes from inside. because you have touched your own indweller, who is Ananda Rupa, who himself is joy himself. Or if you can call it Atma, Atma is Ananda Swarupa. The real identity of oneself is joy. So, yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute akincanasya dantasya shantasya samachetasaha maya santushta manasaha sarva sukhamaya dishaha. I think I have told this many times. Long back, when I used to come from Kharagpur to attend Swamiji's Jnana Yajna here, I'd stay for 2-3 days, listen to the lectures, sit for the informal satsangs. Those days we were very fortunate. Swamiji would have some morning satsangs where we can ask our questions and he would reply. So at that time, Swamiji had taught 2-3 shlokas to me, and which actually simply kindled a spark in me as a love for learning shlokas. So when I went back to Kharagpur, I was not satisfied with the 3 shlokas that I have learned. I wanted to learn more. So I wrote to Swamiji that, Swamiji, can you write to me few shlokas which I can learn and chant on the self, on God, whatever you feel will be helpful for me. This one shloka is of that time. Akinchanasya dantasya, Swamiji wrote a few shlokas to me with the meanings. Akinchanasya dantasya shantasya samachetasaha maya santushta manasaha sarva sukhamaya dishaha. This says that sarvaha sukhamaya dishaha. Every direction, everywhere becomes sukhamaya. You understand? I think we will be very happy if that happens. Wherever we look, whatever we do, we find that it is full of ananda and ananda. But for whom? It is for this person who is akinchana. Akinchanasya, dantasya, shantasya, samachetasaha, maya santushta manasaha. So, a person who has these qualities, for that person, whatever happens, every moment, every direction, everything is always full of sukha, sukhamaya. So what kind of person? Akinchana. Akinchana means one who possesses nothing. Generally, the saintly people will have nothing. But anybody can become akinchana or nishkinchana. How? Even if you have in your mind mamatam vimuncha, do not have mamata, so you will also become akinchana. Having had everything, not feeling that I am the owner of this. So constantly practice to think, to become like that. Dantasya, one whose senses are restrained, controlled. That is, senses, they constantly go to objects to enjoy. The 5 senses will go to various kinds of things and will enjoy. But you have trained the senses, restrained the senses, and you allow it to go to only such objects. Enjoy them, which is good for you. That is, by which your bhakti will increase. It will not take your mind to unnecessary pleasures. So that is one. You have to, what comes under a pursuit. Shantasya, the mind has to be restrained also. The mind and buddhi has to be restrained. It cannot go here and there, think of anything. Say, when you are sitting alone, who has stopped your mind? to think about God, but you will find you are not able to think of God. So many kinds of thoughts will come. And what are the thoughts which will come? Mostly of future. This will happen, that will happen, or of past. This happened and that happened. The mind will be constantly circling around these thoughts. Atita and Bhavishyat. Atitan ananusandhanam bhavishyad avicharanam. Audasinyam api praptam jivan muktasya lakshanam. In Vivekachudamani, this sloka is there. That don't think about the past. Don't roam about in the thought of future. That is dreaming and imagining and making a future. But be indifferent to both. When you find that your mind is going to the past and future, with a stick or with a cane, bring it back, saying that this will not do. Don't go here and there. Think about good things. How many times you can bring about, just see, you try. You will find slowly the mind will get into a habit of not thinking anything which distracts your mind. But you have to give effort. You must do it. One doesn't do, that is the problem. One doesn't do. People are not ready to give that kind of effort. So, audasenyam api praptam jivan muktasya lakshanam. If you train your mind like this, you will become a jivan mukta. Vivekachudamani says. Also it says, anatma chintanam tyaktva kashmalam dukkha karanam chintayatmanam ananda rupam yan mukti karanam. Anatma chintanam tyaktva. This is also from Vivekachudamani. Anatma chintanam tyaktva. We are always thinking about anatma. That is, anything different from the atma. Atma is what? Atma is the eternal, imperishable entity, our real identity, which has no change, which has no birth, no death. It is full of ananda only. So instead of making a habit of thinking of that atma or God, in my Hindi lecture, I told a sloka where whether we say Brahman or whether we say Paramatma or whether we say Bhagavan, it's all same. It is the same. So, anatma chintanam tyaktva. We do not think of the Atma or God. We keep on thinking about other things. So, this shloka is saying, anatma chintanam tyaktva. Leave this constant indulgence in the thought of anatma, which is not atma. Why you should leave? Kashmalam dukkha karanam. Because they only will give you, these thoughts will only give you dukkha. Even if you get at sukha for some time, ultimately it will give you dukkha. Because whatever you have, there is always a fear of losing it. That is the dukkha. That is the shanka. That is the doubt. So, if you are not going to think of atma, anatma, what thought should be yours? So, second line says, Chintaya atmanam ananda rupam. Chintaya. O men, you make a habit of thinking about the atma, which is Ananda Rupa. Ananda Rupa. Yan Mukti Karanam, which will give you liberation, which will make you feel expanded. Your mind will not be constricted. Your mind will start feeling expanded into everybody. Love everybody. Feel for everybody. So, Chintaya Atmanam Ananda Rupam. Yan Mukti Karanam. And in the devotional way, if you call it, Atma is very abstract. We are not able to, you may say, some may say, that we are not able to think of Atma or anything. Then think of God. Give it any form. That is why I used to think in reading the Bhagavatam, why in every skandha so many times God has been described. Because when you read that description, many times, that kind of picture remains in your mind. which is a picture of purity. It might be describing a form of God, but each and every description is a description of purity. It says, Mano Nayana Vardhanam, the form of Sri Hari or Vishnu, wherever it is being described, it says Mano Nayana Vardhanam. That is, the figure or the form or the rupa is such that if you focus on that, concentrate on that, your mind will be elevated and the eyes, the ability of the eyes to see that form in a manner that your mind gets elevated will be yours. Mano Nayana Vardhanam. So, this is what should be our pursuit. So, there are 2 more days. The pursuit, exact pursuit we will find, what we should do. So, I come back to where I started. So, when I was reading these, I felt that I should be having a discipline and routine in my life. I was working and I was in the household and not yet left and come to Swamiji's feet. So I found that though I am a devotee, though I like to read this, still my bhakti is not growing because I really do not know what pursuit I should take. What should motivate me to keep that pursuit also. ये तो नहीं है कि हाँ हम ये करेंगे वो करेंगे सोच लिया, उसको करना भी तो है. I must do it. So I would find that I will keep a routine for myself and then after 1 or 2 months I will drop from that routine. So then I feel that no, this is not acting. So another routine. Much later I understood that this is the way one must have an yearning. Why I am telling? That yearning was there. Yearning was there कि अच्छा चलो नहीं होता है छोड़ दिया. वो हम घूमते फिरते थोड़ा जप कर लेते हैं वो ठीक है. Not that. You must see whether your devotion is growing. Bhaktihi viraktihi bhagavat prabodhaha. Bhaktihi viraktihi bhagavat prabodhaha. The bhakti, when it increases, the dispassion also will increase. That we love God, naturally you will not like many of the things which you used to like in the world. Many things you will stop doing. Many of the associations or friends will drop off. Because now you are liking your routine. You want to sit. किसी ने बोला, एक दिन हमने किसी से पूछा, यंग लड़का है, उसको बोला अभी अमेरिका में रहता है कि बेटा तुम तो स्वामी जी के इतने करीब रहे हो बचपन से, कुछ करते हो क्या, कुछ ध्यान जब कुछ करते हो? तो उसने बोला हाँ माँ, सुबह उठ के हम नहा लेते हैं, फिर हम और उसकी अभी वाइफ भी है, हम दोनों आप लोगों के साथ कुछ समय बिताते हैं. द मैनर इन विच ही सेड, आप लोगों के साथ कुछ समय बिताते हैं. व्हाट इज़ दैट? ही हैज़ केप्ट 3 photos, one of स्वामी जी, one of me, one of नूतन स्वामी जी. तो उसके सामने बैठे रहता है, बैठे आप लोगों के बारे सोचता है, आप लोगों के पास बैठ के कुछ समय बिताते हैं, उसमें मन बहुत शांत होता है, कभी नहीं छोड़ते. So that sitting at the feet of the Lord, not as a routine. हम बोल रहे हैं रूटीन होना चाहिए, डिसिप्लिन होना चाहिए, परस्यूट होना चाहिए, वो not as a routine, not as a mechanical way. Loving God, how to love God, that is our topic. Actually, that is the topic. How to love God and how to increase that love. How you start feeling that He is the one whom I can love most. So to increase that, वो क्या करना है, उसको आगे देखेंगे. एक छोटी सी कहानी बताते हैं, भागवत का ही है. one prostitute named Pingala was there. So Pingala, she used to every day dress up in the evening with beautiful dresses, jewelries, and stand for somebody or other to come to her. And she would get paid for it. So one day, nobody came. Nobody came. Every now and then, she would go inside the house, come back again outside, stand at the door, and look for somebody. But whoever was passing by would pass her door and go away. So that was her livelihood. If somebody came, then only she gets some money. So looking at everybody, she was thinking, oh, this person is very rich, it looks. So if he comes, I will get a lot of money. Like that, nobody came that night. She became despondent. And then, just in a flash, Viveka rose in her mind. And she sang. Santam samipe ramanam ratipradam vittapradam nityamimam vihaya akamadam dukkha bhayadishoka mohapradam tucchamaham bhajetya santam samipe ramanam ratipradam vittapradam nityamimam vihaya akamadam dukkha bhayadishoka mohapradam tucchamaham bhajetya santam samipe ramanam ratipradam vittapradam nityamimam vihaya akamadam dukkha bhayadishoka mohapradam tucchamaham bhajetya. She said, what is the song? The song says that I have been so foolish. Such a lovable person, the Supreme Lord is in my heart. Instead of waiting for Him, looking for Him, trying to find Him, every day I am looking for something outside which will give me happiness, I felt. He is the one who gives us delight, and He gives us abundance love. And He is seated close to my heart, the closest one. See, He is the closest. Even husband and wife, they're bodily apart. Also for anybody in the world, if we want to talk, if we want to share some thoughts, we have to ask that, are you now free? Can I talk? But He is one where we don't have to ask anything. Anytime, my sorrow, my delight, my achievements, my success, my failure, everything immediately I can share. He is the one. Suhrit preshtatamo natha atma chayam sharirinam. She says, He is the Suhrit, He is the friend. He is the best of friends. He is my Lord. He is my Atma. And leaving that person, all these days, I never thought I can get the happiness and my fulfillment from that Supreme Lord. And I have been only going behind outside objects, outside people, through whom I thought I will get happiness. This is our condition. This is our condition. And the most unfortunate is this, even reading, even listening, even doing manana, we still do the same thing again and again. That buddhi doesn't come. Okay, tomorrow we will meet again. अधोक्षजालम्भमिहाशुभात्मनः शरीरिणः संसृतिचक्रशातनं तद्ब्रह्मनिर्वाणसुखं विदुर्बुधाः ततो भजध्वं हृदये हृदीश्वरं ततो भजध्वं हृदये हृदीश्वरं। जय गुरु, जय गुरु, जय गुरु।